Many things we become upset to ourselves in life, but end of the day is a bigger plan. And since we know from the sensory perspective, God has a better plan and a better wisdom. So of course we know for the sure that God doesn't do injustice to anyone. So making someone male and a female is based on his wisdom and will, right? We can know that he has the wisdom and will, but we do not know the degree and the category of his will. For example, when something happened to our skin, a bruise happened. Often the pain, because of pain, we scream and shout a lot. But it's actually taken the germs away, which could be detrimental for other organ. But these small things prevented you to suffer from the bigger thing. So therefore, when we see those options given to us, we must be content. At least when you look at other people, you will see, look,
but I'm not content that in the Bible, in the Quran, I'm not content that there's a way of life females are supposed to live, and I am a female.
I mean, so in particular, I mean, for me, when I look at the Quran, I see the fairness. Do you have any particular issue from the Quran? Then you can tell us so that we can have a look.
Do I have any particular issue?
Yeah, meaning in the Quran that said something in the Quran that maybe something that make no sense or something that doesn't help you. So we can look it up.
No, I haven't finished reading the Quran.
Yeah.
But I do have one question.
Sure.
Should we take into consideration the Western country that we live in, and also the times that we live in? Yeah. And the times that we live in.
Yeah.
So, for example, in the Quran, we are supposed to cover our knees as men, right? Forget about me, men, right? Is it really bad for now, in this day and age, in this country, to go to the beach and wear swim shorts?
Okay, I think this is a great question. So when actually Quran goes, there are two verses in the Quran actually side by side.
Is there a balance?
No, I'm coming to that. In the chapter 30, there are two verses together, talks about the hijab, of the modesty of the human beings for male and a female.
Because today, this is modest.
I'm coming. Let's understand the principle. Allah didn't talk about women hijab first. Allah talks about men hijab first. Men being told to lower our gaze. Yes? So the hijab is an application for apply to the man and woman. There are certain areas to be covered in our body. Right? Now for example, if I follow the condition of someone, say, look, why are you covering the whole body? Why not up to this point? Then the argument is actually not about Quran, it's about how much freedom you need. Someone say, I need to cover the bra. I'm saying, why don't you extend it to this point? So where's the line we are drawing? So that becomes very subjective. So therefore, when the subjective things happen, then the dispute are most likely to occur. Therefore, the solution cannot be from the subjective mode. Therefore, we need to go back to our own maker, that Allah is establishing that I am the maker. Then I define the hijab for men and women together. So now when we're talking about how much part to be covered, this is already in dispute. Do you see the point? So someone say, I just wanted to cover my body with just two pieces of cloth. Someone would say, okay, what's wrong with covering the full body? Why don't you become fully naked? So you can't just pick and choose for whatever suits you or whatever society promotes you. There are industries where the fashion brands, they want the typical cloth to be sold out. So that's why they generate a certain way of living, so that they do the commercial in the media, so that you and the sisters or the gentlemen, whoever it is, they are go and buy to fulfill the desire. But this is not something prescribed by the Creator Himself, but rather the society. So society is keep preaching to our mind. When come to the Quran, we often say, oh, why Allah is talking about? But we don't realize we already programmed by the society. Society is dictating our life, what should we wear and what should we not wear, right?
What's normal? What's
Exactly.
right,
So you get the point now. So therefore, when we see those in alignment in the Quran, is very clear and bold. Allah talks with authority. And then when we evaluate, just like we evaluated this verse, Allah talks about the men and women hijab. Allah talks about both of our protection. And then on the hindsight, when we examine, yeah, sorry. On the hindsight, if we look at the other claim, so on the hindsight, we have noticed that if we evaluate the other side, we know this is very subjective. Because someone say, I just want two-piece.
So basically, in the Quran, the words is to cover this, that, this, and that's what we.
No, that is the agreement, because other way you have more disagreement. Because do you believe Allah?
Yeah.
Do you believe the portion of guidance you can take it fully, or you can take the part of guidance, or you don't want to take the full guidance?
I believe that you can take as much guidance as you want.
That's why Allah said no. Do not pick and choose.
Oh.
Rather, Allah said, "Udkhulu fi silmi."
No. You take all of the guidance.
Right.
But I mean, it's guidance.
Do you mean the interpretation of the guidance?
I mean, like
how much you can follow.
How much you can follow?
Yeah, how much?
Right.
You can follow.
Now the issue that we are going now. Yeah.
Like it's guidance. It's
Yeah.
not an answer.
All right, okay, I agree. If I get you properly, then what I'm going to say, Allah said, "Udkhulu fi silmi kaffa." Enter the religion wholeheartedly.
Yeah.
So do not just leave it. Now imagine, am I perfect? No. Is Muslim perfect? We say no. But we try our best to follow it. But we do not say, because I don't follow it, that doesn't mean that guidance doesn't make sense. It's just my lackings. Imagine if I have my lackings, right? Imagine if I can't run fast. Can I blame him?
Okay, you know Islam, like the Quran.
Do you get my point?
I know your point, going full-heartedly, and then obviously if you do that, you cannot go wrong.
Yeah.
But with Islam, it's not as strict. Like obviously it's very there's many things, many informations, many rules, many
There are
answers.
everything in the Islam. Allah gives us so much alternative. Imagine Allah talks about alcohol, right? He banned alcohol, but did He ban all the fruit juices? Now think about the number of fruit juices you can have. But look at the number of drinks are allowed, and look at the just only few of the drinks, right? Only few drinks. Allah said this is forbidden, but Allah did not forbid the alternative choices, right? So when we look at the blessing that Allah has given us, then you would have think, oh, why should I complaining for just one where I have so many things available for me? For example, Allah talks about pork and bacon, right? But you have chicken, you have duck, you can have certain types of, different types of meat, halal meat. So you see, Allah didn't prohibit everything. Allah just prohibited one or two.
And there's another thing. Allah has left many things unsaid as a mercy, as His mercy. He left things unsaid. He's left things where there's actually hidden messages for yourself to figure out.
Yeah, that's why Allah constantly.
It's like a road. There are boundaries. You do not cross those boundaries. Individually, you have been given choices. Which suits your condition better. You can choose one of those from those options. So you're right, completely right.
Yeah.
But as far as
It's quite mutual. Islam is a little bit mutual, because first of all, Islam is also two things: knowledge of the book and spiritual. And there's not answers for everything, because if there was, I would know what to do myself, my situation.
Yes. So it's like guide. So guide means that it will not tell you everything, but it will tell you the principles and the boundaries where you will be, like when you try to
I
help
think the
someone
way.
learn swimming. What you do not swim yourself or do not do everything on behalf of the swimmer, I mean, who is learning, but you guide and you prevent or prohibit or say warn that do not cross this line, otherwise you may drown.
It's like you made a little swimming pool and we can swim inside, but here's the boundaries, the lines, swim
so-
inside.
Yeah, but suppose
Within the fold of Islam.
that fold is within a sea.
Actually, within
But if you cross when learning, if you cross, you can drown or be driven by webs and those things. So that's why certain forbiddings are there. It is only to grow us in a positive direction. So like protection. So prohibition of Islam comes to protect you or grow in right direction.
So I wouldn't be punished if I went to the beach in swim shorts.
no, I think
Or you. If you went to the beach in
No,
swim shorts, you wouldn't be punished.
If you
But it's not the guidance.
I think she's mixing up. What you are saying is, did Islam given us a code of covering? It did, right? Right.
The full law.
Now that's
Give the full
guidance,
law.
or is that punishment?
He doesn't like the full law. He doesn't like the creator law.
Me,
He likes
I do
to
like the
create
full law.
his
No, I don't think you understood her point. Yeah, I don't think he understood. So,
He's following his
what?
desire, basically.
Okay. No. Don't misrepresent her.
I'm actually celibate as well.
Yeah. So Allah given us some clear instruction. If the instruction becomes clear, what is sin? We need to understand that. Sin is called disobedience to God. Do we agree?
Okay.
Yes. If Allah tells you, follow the road to Marble Arch, you listen to the command of Allah, you said, nah, I have a better plan. I'm not going to follow Allah. I'm going to go to that way. Spitalfield Road. That is sin. Why? Because your condition number one, the guidance was clear to you. What was the guidance? That if you follow the commands of God, you will be rewarded. If you don't, then plainly you will have consequences. So now, as you have realized that the guidance is clear. Now, if you make a choice to do sin, right, then you can say, I'm going to ask Allah to forgive me. But we should not try to justify it, okay, that is allowable. We don't change, water down the religion.
Never justify
Right.
it.
Now, exactly. So what you can do, I suggest you, if you have someone, when we do sin, we often think Allah is not merciful. We don't have that. We should not have that in mind. We will do a lot of sin. But as long as we keep going back to Allah, and Allah's promise with, the initial covenant that happened with the human being, and the shaitan was there, and shaitan taken the covenant that I'm going to influence or I'm going to detract people, try and whisper them to take away from the right path. And Allah make a covenant. Every time my slave repent and turn back to me, I'll forgive them. So our understanding should not be, we should not water down religion. Rather, if we do anything that is not the pleasing to Allah, then we could say, look, I have committed that. Let me ask forgiveness to Allah. We should have that mentality rather than justifying. Right. Do you see the difference? Yeah.
Yeah. I'm always guilty. I don't justify.
Exactly.
I'm
Yeah.
always trying to find
So
out.
the issue is there.
Yeah.
I mean, so Islam prohibits certain things individually, not only to benefit the individual self, but also to
Collective to
help
the
other
society.
collective society. So, I mean, the traffic rules maybe may have one purpose to not harm oneself, but it has another purpose to not harm others. I mean,
Yeah.
so that's why, I mean, even
For
if
example, gambling is haram because it harms people.
Yeah.
But if you wanted to, you could have fun a little bit, but it's haram. It's
Allah
gonna
tells
hurt.
us.
So you
Yeah,
know
it-
that.
yeah.
But you're not going to get punished or anything like that if you was to gamble.
So when you are violating, or so God has given us the guidance as a mercy. I mean, in the sense that we have said that we submit to you, your will, because our choice may be corrupted. may be limited. I mean, affected by limited knowledge. So our choice may harm us. So that's why we have said that we have submitted our will to your will, because you have the full knowledge. You are the most merciful. You guide us to the most beneficial path. So that's why once we have said that, we have taken the oath. God has given us as a response that yes, I have given you the correct path so that you can protect it. If you follow this path, you will be protected. You will be protected within this earth and after your life. So you will be a eligible person to get the citizenship of the Jannah.
Yeah. So beautifully said. You know, this brother remind me of, in Islam we have something called maqasid, means the objective of the Sharia, the prescription, the guidance that we extract from the Quran and the Sunnah. This actually beneficial for the human being. For example, when we talk about human life is, it should be something we should be proud of, we should be protected of, grateful for. Individual's religion should be protected. Someone should allow or follow his religion freely. Someone should protect his dignity freely. Someone should protect his family, the society. If you look at all of the guidance together, you will see that these apply to our social balance. The moment you try to break this for so-called freedom that society preaching, that actually disrupt the harmony. I'll give you an example. A raper, he find violating the God's law, right? Now imagine the guy who enjoyed raping. Now in the situation, is his sister get raped? Do you think you like it?
Oh, I don't know. Maybe.
No.
Probably doesn't.
No, there is a crime in Australia. There is a guy in Australia few years back. He was a serial raper.
Yeah.
But when his sister raped, he actually murdered the other guy.
Right. Yeah.
What that shows the hypocrisy of his freedom, and then when he was applying to someone else, he actually taken the rights of someone. So Islam, is double standard. This is called hypocrisy. So when Islam comes, Islam giving you the criteria for a king to poor, rich to the elite, everyone. And that's why Allah didn't tell us to pray. Allah didn't tell us, rich people pray at first 3 row and the poor people on the back 3 row. That's not the case. The case is a king can pray next to the beggar. As a Muslim, we were told to stand shoulder to shoulder with harmony, right? So when we look at the prescription on Islam and the maqasid of the objective of the Sharia, we realize that this is actually a solution for the problem rather than the problem we are thinking. Do you know why we are thinking the problem? Because society was preaching what is right and wrong, and society giving a hallucination type of guidance, which is very subjective and very I would say contradicting. Just like I given you example of that Australian guy. He was a serial raper, but when his sister got raped, he killed the other guy. So it shows that the double standard of the application of someone's desire. So Allah said, no, the rules are for everyone. Allah didn't say, rule is for only poor. No.
So
I hope
this
is clarified.
So when we have accepted that God is the final arbitrator, or one who is the authority or the most able one to give us the criteria for good and bad and what would harm us.
Brothers.
When we accept that,
brother, don't do this.
When we accept that, we recognize that this recognition is based on recognizing the own relationship with God, and who is God, who I am I, and how we are related. Now, when we disobey God, that means we do something that is disliked or displeases God, disliked by God. Then what happens? We violate ourselves first. So we do injustice to ourselves. That's why we say Rabbana Zalamna. So that's why God has given us some certain good qualities.
Yeah.
We violate our own self first.
Oh my gosh, I got another question. No,
Sure.
Right, so I prayed. So, all right, does God give you the wrong thing? Does God give you something bad when you pray for something bad?
Sorry. For example, Allah, you know this will and the acceptance, right? What are the independent that we have? We need to identify that. Our independent is there are certain things we can choose for ourselves. Certain thing we ask for ourselves. Allah can grant it if you ask for it, right? Allah cannot grant it. Say again?
Even if it's bad for you.
Allah, in generally, Allah said Allah doesn't do any bad. Allah doesn't do from His command. Instead, in fact, on the other way, we find in the Quran, Allah said, Inna Allah ya'muru bil adli wal ihsan. Allah instruct people to do justice and the fairness and the good. And Allah said Allah loves the doer of the good. Now imagine if someone asks for something bad. If someone asks something bad, then if Allah stop it, yeah, let's apply the scenario. If Allah stop it, then you cannot actually exchange your free will. So that does not mean the action actually belongs to Allah. The action Allah is allowing so that you can have the free will. If you don't have the free will, then you should not be tested just like any
No,
man.
but I always ask Allah to look after me though.
Sorry?
I always ask Him to look after me, and I always ask Him to keep me on the straight path.
Yeah.
I always ask Him to get rid of what's not good for me. I always do
Yeah.
that.
So-
So when I pray, I expected Him to look after me, not
Yeah.
to give me something
So
that's not good for me.
I think you already, because sometimes when we receive something and we say in English, take it for granted. There are certain things in our life we take it for granted. We don't take notice of it. But when we don't achieve something, then we say, oh, why this is not happening? But before you looking to what I didn't achieve, what you need to say, what you have already receiving. For example, the breathing that you have, you've been talking to me with half an hour.
Oh, swear, yeah?
Half an hour pretty much, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And I cannot see any issues with your breathing. There are many people. They have issues with the breathing. They have issues with the lungs. The issues with other things in our body. Allah said, did you thankful for the good thing that He has already bestowed in you? Yeah. Do you see? So there is a verse in the Quran. Allah said, there are certain people who worship Allah in the cliff edge. Means in the edge. On the boundary. When the calamity happens to them, they scream. But when they are reassured with goodness, they forgot Allah.
Oh no, not me.
Yeah. So now the categorization of a question is not that Allah instills something to you. Allah allows certain things that you wished for. If He doesn't accept it, whatever you wished for, that means you would not have the free will. Therefore, you would like other creation like animals and the trees, and which they cannot exercise the free will. So therefore, Allah, what did Allah now instruct you, me and everyone else to do? Now we need to look into the whole Quran to see what are the command of God to us. Did He tell us anywhere that make dua for something bad for someone else? Nowhere. So that means this is not His instruction. That is our soul whisper. Now that whisper, you can control yourself. Do you know how? Allah given there are certain types of nafs, we call it. The consciousness, you can call it, is it consciousness? You can call it nafs, yeah? Yeah. So there is a consciousness called nafsul lawama. Nafsul lawama means guilty consciousness. So whenever you know something is wrong, imagine if someone lie, he knew deep down that he lied and he felt bad. That is the conscious that God instilled with every human soul.
You know, I don't feel guilty. You know? I just feel like it's written about a female, and I am female. But I don't feel guilty.
No, I'm saying it relates to your previous question. I'm saying that guilty consciousness, if you listen to the guilty consciousness, then you would not have repeat that again. So therefore, you correct yourself. Now, where do we start? Where did we start? I started can we blame God for our own action by asking something to God? Now we have realized.
God said that he promised to answer every dua. I just didn't know.
No, but he didn't say the old dua will be accepted here. There are a lot of dua will not be accepted here, but he will give it in the Jannah. Like for example,
Oh, yeah.
right? For example, when you make the Rabbana atina fid dunya hasana wa fil akhirati hasana wa qina azaban nar. The punishment, Allah saved me from the punishment of the fire. Now let's say Allah accepted the dua, but you cannot see the actualization of this dua in this world. Why?
What if I prayed?
Hear me out. It's a very interesting point.
Okay.
Let's say Allah accepted this dua, but you cannot see the actualization of this dua. Why? Because you didn't reach it to the day of judgment. Therefore, you cannot witness it. This is something Allah left for you in the future. But that part of dua, Allah already accepted. Like when we say Allah give us good health, did He not accepted you? Of course He did. So therefore, whatever has been actualized, we should be thankful. Whatever is still to come, that's why Allah said, Ihdina sirat al-mustaqim. Allah asked, Allah always asks people to ask for the guidance. Because why? Because we always violate Allah's law. And it is us, our duty, to go back to Allah for guidance. And then He asked for asking to guide us. He didn't ask us to, oh, Allah, accept my dua that will harm me or someone else. Do you see? So this is something Allah didn't command, but rather this is something He accepts when people ask for it, in occasionally, based on this has to align with the free will that we have. Because if you stop it fully, then He would not be able to give you that full choice of this life and independence.
So the question, I mean, to summarize this answer to the question, like is, if I want bad,
I don't want bad. It was about music and it was about having a wife. And then they were both answered to me.
okay, I cannot have this.
Simon Cowell and literally a twin flame, my twin flame.
So the issue is that it is up to God which dua He will accept or which will not.
Yeah.
I mean, it is entirely up to Him.
And that's supposed to be haram. And He answered it and He gave it to me.
No, but the question is.
But the issue is
Yes,
that
sorry,
now.
sorry.
Yeah. Now the issue is that when He has given you something you have asked for, and sometimes He has not given you, even if you ask for, that may be due to some wisdom. God's wisdom is there behind. Because if you have wrongly asked for something which will harm you, but you have again sometimes said or asked to God that God give us hasana in this world, I mean good in this world, and your true dua or true prayer will be in contradiction. So God will always, if you are a believer, God will always try to help you in the right direction, and God will guide you towards. I mean, if you are sincere and steadfast on God's path, and you are urging for God's pleasure or God be pleased with you, then God will help you. So now, how then to help you? God will, with His wisdom, wait these prayers, which will be beneficial for you. Suppose sometimes it may happen that if you have asked for something wrong, I mean that will harm you, God may withhold or completely not grant that. But sometimes He may, because that will help you grow. That will be a hurdle to you. That will be a test for you.
Sometimes we say this is an expensive lesson, but it's actually a good lesson.
Yeah.
Do you know why? We don't repeat that again. Sometimes in our life, sometimes like for example, this is the contrasting always. You would not have the goodness unless you. How do you know something good when the presence of bad there? If there is no bad, you cannot say good. Do you see? So the issue here is we're talking about what Allah allows, but did He instruct you to do something bad? That's not the case. So that is the reconciliation here. that Allah given that free will.
So I can't even trust my prayers, yeah?
No, you
I
can.
can.
No, no,
So
no,
I can.
no. But you can. I have them.
say that I mean,
But I was
what
praying, like,
give me,
get rid of it.
whatever benefits me,
Yeah.
and
Yeah,
keep
I
me
know.
out
I
from
prayed
them.
that. I prayed that.
Yeah. So like for example, like a lot of the dua, Allah said He will. So now if you believe,
Tears, like get it away from me if it's bad for me. In tears,
Right.
every single day.
Yeah.
Yes.
And it's here, and it's just coming even closer and closer to me.
yeah,
And there are certain conditions that make
And I'm happy, but
that is blocking, that's accumulated. It will maybe release later. The response will be the response may be released later. That is being hidden from or being barred from us due to maybe my other actions. So we have to reflect on ourselves. So for acceptance of dua, there are certain conditions. You know, yeah, and getting positive response, there are certain conditions, like whether my actions is responsible for blocking that response. No. So there may be if you have prayed for something and that's good for you, and you're not getting that, so then maybe you should ask again and again, and maybe that may be too possible because maybe God will give you that at a particular time which in which it will benefit you most correctly. And another aspect is that maybe God is saying that no, you should improve, you must bring a little bit more so that you can be a recipient of that thing and you can be
He's very responsive every time I pray.
yeah. So that's good. Allah, you know.
What I'm saying is, I prayed for these two things, but in Islam, it's haram. Music and me being married to a woman. And these two things has been given to me. And I pray to get rid of it. I cry every day to get rid of it.
yeah, but now here is your test.
Okay.
I mean, you have to. I mean, that is a sacrifice. So, God is testing you, and when you will be able to sacrifice these things for God alone, then
And I
you will be
already did.
given higher status. I mean, in the sense that in the day of judgment, when you will be entered into heaven, some people may complain,
But you know
and
I
God
did-
will think that.
You know, I sacrificed it. So I sacrificed because I'm back now. So I sacrificed it. I was in extreme Muslim cave, yeah, and I completely sacrificed it. But then out of the sky, it came back to me. The wife, because I prayed for a companion. I gave it a go. I said, I'm just gonna give it a go. Like, can I have a wife, Lord Allah? Can I have a wife? And then she came to me.
Yeah, no problem. That may be another
And then
test.
I prayed for the music.
So
And the
look,
music
sister,
came.
Saraway, let me just address that. That may not be the dua Allah accepted. That could be the thing that you are looking for. Of course, Allah accepts everything, right?
It was given to me on a plate, on a platter.
Right.
Without understanding,
Exactly. It do not happen.
there is wisdom.
But Allah, when Allah talks about the rules, Allah did us guidance, right? We told us. The instruction, the manual was given, right? And Allah talks about, there are a particular group of people. A group of people who are like this, who have this attitude of behaving with them. Yes? Are you familiar with Lut? Right, okay. So when Allah brings an example, when we bring an example is something that demonstrating someone to, you should either follow or not follow. So when we look at this example, was this something Allah encouraged people or severely discouraged people?
Severely discouraged.
Severely discouraged. That means this is an action that was not pleasing to Allah. Within our conscience we know that. So if Allah said something, we shouldn't go. Therefore you should not make certain dua to befall that affliction on you. Because if
I have no tendency towards males.
yeah, so but like I said, my brother clearly said, there are certain things we do not know how your physical makeup, and I cannot argue from the medical point of view since I'm not a medical student. From a theological standpoint, all we'd say there are multiple layer of argument anyone can bring. But I given you that, yes, since you still have the tendency for the similar sex, but the same thing Allah is telling, this is something Allah will test you with the life, through hunger, through wealth. So the test should not be just based on the sexual desire.
Body setup is a test.
Body setup is a test. Body setup is a test. Even living in the society is a test. Giving, there are a lot of people tested with kidneys. There are a lot of people tested with blindness.
We have no control.
We have no control. Do you remember I was talking about there are certain choices that God make for us. But it doesn't mean that God makes someone gay or someone lesbian. It is the person who's making the choice. Do you see? So what we need to... No.
Yeah.
It is.
It's not my choice.
Now,
I was just born like this.
That condition is, you have nothing to do. I mean, you cannot do anything. The condition...
I don't know any different.
Yeah, but what we are saying that our Islamic understanding is that everything, I mean, even the body setup, the inheritance or tendencies, all are designed by God. I mean, this is qadar, I mean, destined in this way. You are not to be blamed for that, and anyone should be blamed for that, in the sense that it is God has given, like a test condition.
And he doesn't make me change. I keep trying to change.
Yeah.
I'm not changing.
Yeah. Now the issue is that maybe he has instructed certain things, like God has said that male should not, clothe or be in an environment like female or something that will psychologically affect their behavior, because human psyche is affected by the environment, their own actions. It's like a feedback loop,
I just came out like this.
No,
I'm not changed.
No, I think that's an issue. I would say that's an issue with not an individual perception. I always mention there are two religions preaching going at the same time. One is the religion from God, and another religion of desire, and the religion of society. So there is a distinguish require here. So there is society we live in where the promotion of these things are quite normalized.
Yeah, but even if
Let me finish my point. So can you objectively distinguish that you are not influenced by them?
What, by desire?
Yes.
Well, if I'm celibate,
No, but this is your makeup. I'm saying, can you make yourself distinct? You can't.
can I go?
You cannot. Can you make yourself distinct that whether God has imposed that to you, or is it that something you really wanted for yourself, right? Can you distinct
I
that?
didn't even know. I just know that I was
Therefore,
female.
Yeah, that's why you have to
Exactly.
try yourself on which side you are, and you can detect on yourself and give a try that
Yeah.
I will do certain things.
Exactly.
I will not do certain things. Let's see which is affecting more or having effect on me in a positive feedback
Yeah,
sense.
this is more positive than the other when I tried to wear the jilbab or be a female and follow the female rules. It's very negative.
Yeah, but another thing.
And then this is more positive. I help people more, being myself. I get to
Yeah,
speak to
yeah,
people,
there's another
help
issue.
people. I do more stuff.
Yeah, another issue might be that there are certain things like if you, when a magnet, the poles of magnet, if you want to identify, so there are two options. Like when you bring the same poles on the same side, it will repel. And on the other hand, if you bring opposite poles, it will attract. No? So certain aspects, you may try different combinations like that. Maybe.
Yeah, that's how it feels. It feels like a fucking
Maybe.
north and north. Like honestly, it's so bad. I literally cannot.
so
Can't do it. Like I try. It's like
so that-
everything
Sarabhai,
is telling
I
me
think
to
wow.
stop.
Allah tells us something very important, yes, in the Quran. فَإِنَّمَا يُجَاهِدُ لِنَفْسِهِ. Whoever struggle, he struggle for himself. So if you struggle, that struggle to Allah. And Allah knows that struggle. That struggle you are doing is only for you, not for anyone else. So when Allah given the desire, of course Allah gives desire. Allah gives this body. But Allah tell us, Allah given some inner tools to use it in an appropriate manner. I mentioned to you the nafsul lawama, which is the guilty consciousness. Now imagine,
I don't have a guilty conscience for that.
no, I am saying, imagine if you do something bad, do you feel guilty?
Yes, of course.
Right, that's called inner guiltness.
Yeah.
Okay, that is what I wanted to demonstrate it. I think you misheard
But I
before.
don't feel guilty
No,
for
no.
me liking women. Like,
No, that's what I'm
obviously,
saying.
I don't like.
No,
I'm not gay. I'm a female.
I tell you why we should feel guilty. I tell you why you should feel guilty.
I
Not
feel
that,
guilty because I'm a female.
no, I think you should feel guilty because you accept Allah, right?
Yes.
Is He your maker?
Yes.
Step number 2. Then, that means, do you accept His guidance?
Yes.
Therefore, if you submit on the 2 premise, the third premise also Allah tells us that whatever Allah given you, and this life is a test for everyone. So you have been challenged with this test. We all individually challenge based on our capability. But there is one verse Allah make it clear, and I want you to reflect on that. That is in chapter 2. That is in chapter 2. Allah said, "La yukallifullahu nafsan illa wusaha." Allah does not burden a soul. Allah does not burden a soul beyond his capacity. So I think on that note, I hope it is clear, and I think you have given enough response.
I can prove to you.
So what does that mean then? I'm doing the right thing by staying who I am?
No, you just, what we are saying to you as a Muslim, so if you accept the first and second premise, then Allah tells us to strive strive this life, and whoever strive, and Allah said, do you think you will be left to believe and you will not be tested? In chapter 29 verse 1 to 3, Allah said, do you think people will believe and they said they will not be tested? Allah will be test people with desire, with wealth, with money, with health, and so many things.
But you know, Allah is no name is God, you know that?
But do you believe in God?
Yeah, but Allah is no name is God.
But do you believe in God? What is the name of your God?
Jehovah.
Jehovah.
You know why Jehovah? Musa, you know Musa, you believe Musa messenger?
Now I can have a conversation after this one, okay? I can have a conversation after this one.
This is preventing you from playing that role properly. You know? Then,
Do you mind if you can move?
No, nobody can. Relax.
No, it's there.
Because we are physical beings, we get influenced by different issues. Like when we are sorry, what we do, we watch some funny,
Clips
or something like that, or read. And read some stuffs that make us happy, or some funny stuff in that will make us laugh. These issues are there. So we use our intellect to engineering modify ourselves in the sense. First, so we can remove the weakness in favor of strength then for a particular role. So that's why we have to identify it. So we need to identify the role first, and then identify in which way you can better play the role that will help you strengthen.
So play my role in the best that I can.
Yeah.
So inshallah, maybe like just help loads of gay people.
Yeah, and then strive towards that role. Like if you identify yourself as male or female, whatever you identify, now give a try before identifying which side you are. To do that best, try every side. And then try like food habit, like eating sour like lemon, and these things may influence our body chemical compositions or ratios that may trigger some aspect within you, because we are bound to this chemical phenomena. Our emotions and arousal, these issues are all linked to those things.
Have you
So maybe
got
food.
a deep voice?
No problem. We can always now. we know our body, and now medical science has improved so much. I mean, even our changing our food habit, our own thinking pattern, and then our behavior. I mean, you try to repel the things which are coming in mind that is against your role you have decided. So strive on that. God will see you the intent, the niyyah.
And does it matter if I help people?
Yeah, of course. I mean, maybe God has given this specific situation to you, so that you can lead other people.
I think so.
Yeah. So you have to experiment on yourself, because we cannot change our conditions, but we can engineer ourselves, or strive for better purpose. So you have a purpose. You have to identify that, and that is not something smaller, So you have to be very, clever, sincere, and alert on that. That is it's a kind of taqwa.
Yeah, 100%.
Be conscious, strive, and result is on Allah. So have faith and tawakkul, in the sense that you have faith and what is said, what it is say,
Faith and,
rely on God. Think yourself always dependent on God, and always ask for what you need.
do you know what?
Yeah.
Thank you so much, And if I was to choose to just accept myself, right? It's making me want to dive all into Islam, read everything, help people, all that stuff.
Yeah.
If I had to think, okay, I need to be a woman, I'll still be stuck into trying to be a woman, and I would be absolute no use to anybody.
Yeah.
If I was to play my role, right? Because trust me, I did try it so many times. My whole life I've tried to just be a woman, because I'm very religious since young. But it's just not happening. It's just not happening. It's not working.
Yeah. So what we can suggest is that even if we are not in a particular side, we can even choose for conventional use for other people. Not for yourself. You know who you are.
Yeah, I do. And it's hard because people pretend to be like me.
Yeah,
they're
sometimes.
not.
Yeah.
They're women.
Yeah. So, but for convention, you can have that outer identity, but for purpose. Within you. Yeah. That will help you, in the sense that may help you in struggle.
I make peace everywhere because I'm a female.
Yeah.
So you get me?
Certainly you have certain aspect of femalehood. So that's why you have to identify or give proper treatment to that side, embolden that side, maybe by thinking, or even if you pretend outwardly, but you know who you are really, and try to fit your role within the complete setup. Because you can help many other people.
Yeah, I can.
Yeah, inshallah. So you are not identified. So
Oh, you can't understand. Yeah.
Benefit of doubt. So thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
That's helped me a lot. That's I'm gonna do that, bro.
Yeah.
Then we'll see what happens there, because all I've been doing is trying to be like female. That's all I've been doing.
Yeah. Thank you.
Now I'm gonna. Only recently I tried to be myself. Only recently, but now I'm gonna go all in, be myself, and let's see what happens.
Yeah.
We'll see
And
what happens.
what we are suggesting that even if you are with your own self internally, for convention you can try different things for convention.
Oh, right.
Or for So that
But
we pretend
God's made me like this, though.
Sorry.
But God made me like this. So
but you have certain aspects in terms of physical aspects, like, so the clothing and outer appearance are related to bodily aspects, not only mental aspects. So maybe you can give the bodily aspect that proper treatment in that respect, and your mental aspect you can keep that way. So what I am suggesting is that
that doesn't work together.
but
don't work together.
but you can keep the combination, like saying that
That's like very
Yeah, no, that's not in the sense. What I am suggesting that if I am appearing in a certain way, and Islam has certain rulings for that appearance, bodily expression, not mental. So, in terms of social construct or conventional ways, maybe I should do that for other people, not for me. You know, it is not about you now because you are interacting with people. Yeah. So for other people, you do that. We modify ourselves, we clothe ourselves for other people. You know, we do not clothe in a particular way that will freak out people or. You know. So it's for other people, not for you. So that's the Islamic solution to it would be the more closer to the justice because you do justice to your.
You need to go and change my hormones.
You can try. You can try. It's within the available setup.
Like you're
Use your
suggesting
intellect.
to change my hormones. Suggestion to change my hormones. Not telling
If
me
you
to
choose, yes, suggestion. Yeah, suggestion. That you can try your best. But for physical
That's
appearance,
like telling me. That's like saying that's like when a guy wants to change his hormones to be a woman. Like, do you know what I mean? And the girls wants to change their hormones to be a man. That's like I don't want to change my hormones.
no problem.
Yeah.
But what why I have already said that when we identify some weakness within ourselves, we try to strive in the better side of that role. Okay. You know, there's no harm in that. We go muscle. Do the gym or go to gym, this kind of things always we do. Something we acquire from our actions, you know, and we have intellect and all the setup is there. So you can grow yourself in a particular direction within if it is available to you. You can always try,
yeah. But then that would be my mindset, innit?
Yeah, maybe that can have effect on your mind again. So what I have said that maybe when I was maybe I am feeling sad or kind of thing, I turn on some funny clip or Mr. Bean or something.
Gamify myself.
Yeah, so that will trigger. That will trigger.
Femify myself.
Give a try. Give a try.
Fuck that.
What is available within us? Yeah, no.
Astaghfirullah.
No. So that.
No, I've already decided. I'm going to do my role, man.
Yeah. So.
My parents tried to do that to me
Yeah,
anyway.
but for the physical aspect, suppose you have two aspects.
You get brain dead.
No problem. Suppose you have two aspects, bodily aspect, mental aspect. Now you can do justice separately to both of them. You know, what you can do to bodily aspect, you can apply Islamic rules to bodily aspects. For other people, appearance, like I have said that when we dress for other people, not for us. I mean, it's a that is the one issue. And for mental issue, for mental issues, I mean, you need not to change. You need not to change, but you can try in different ways. To embolden your role in a particular way, or keep yourself what you are. But so mental aspect and bodily aspect, I am saying that you can apply Islamic rules on both or Islamic principles on both separately. That is what I am suggesting. That will be closer to guidance, Allah's guidance. You know?
Yeah. But I can't wear the jilbab though, because then, I'm gonna wanna punch people up. Seriously.
Yeah, you decide what will be proper for you, and ask Allah for proper guidance. Yeah, what will fit better to you, and if on the day of judgment Allah asks that. You could have done this, you could be do this better. If you are equipped with this answer, ask yourself and pray to Allah, and He will guide you.
Thank you.
Yeah. So, thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Very much.